your agents aren't calling your old leads, your cold leads? You ever wonder why they're not converting any of those leads? Well, in today's video, what I'm going to be talking about is, why your agents aren't calling those leads, why you're not getting any conversion off of your oldest leads, and how to fix that. Also going to be talking about why you're not getting adoption of the tools you're providing, why your tech stack is too complicated and your agents refuse to use the tools you provide them. And lastly, want to talk about ways that you're missing out on income in your business by monetizing all of the local service providers that you work with. So if you've ever felt like, hey, I send my loan partner a ton of business, they don't send me anything. Or hey, I send an HVAC company or different home services, all sorts of business, and I don't get anything in return, we're going to talk about ways to fix that. And the reason we're going to talk about these three things is because this is what Ruuster helps folks with. I can't tell you how many times in the last week, both at Fast Forward Movement Mastermind, at Inman in San Diego, at John Cheplack's home, at KFR at the ranch, how many times I was told, Spencer, I see you guys everywhere, and I don't have a freaking clue what you do. So today's video is hopefully going to solve that for you guys. So let's go ahead and jump right in. The first thing that we're going to talk about is your cold leads. So for many of you guys watching this, you've got 8-year-old Boomtown leads in your CRM. You've got 9-year-old Commissions Inc. leads in your CRM. You've got tens or hundreds of thousands of leads, yet your agents just sit back and wait for a Market VIP lead to come in, or a Zillow Flex lead to come in, or a brand new iLopo lead to come in, while all those other leads are getting completely ignored. Why is that? Because that is the biggest frustration that I tend to observe team leaders and indie brokers having. Why is that going on? The reason for it is actually quite simple. So you guys set up in your follow-up boss, in your CRM of choice, different calling filters, different saved lists and saved filters around activity. Okay, and that activity is usually going to be return to website, clicked through email alert, favorited property, requested showing, right? Those engagement-based activity triggers gets people into the calling list that your ISAs or your agents are actually deciding, hey, I should reach out to this person. Well, what's going on behind the scenes that nobody talks about, but it's really important, is that most platforms sunset your e-alerts. They sunset your What's My Home Worth emails. They sunset your market report, how the market's changing. All of those automated emails get sunset or turned off. They're not sent out, right? So when I sit down and I run through a CRM audit with folks, I'll pull up, these different filters and I'm able to quickly see what percentage of the database has been sunset, meaning they're not getting any content, right? And when they don't get content, they have no shot at ever making it into the list and ending up on the agent's radar of, hey, I should pick up the phone and call this person. Usually 90 to 95% of teams' databases are sunset. They're not getting e-alerts. They're not getting the What's My Home Worth email. So again, when that content is not going out, but it's the driver of what gets people into the highest priority leads in your pond for an agent or ISA to call, there's no shot that they're ever going to call them because this is just a dead lead that signed up 7 years ago. There's a really easy fix. And this is my Ruuster pitch to you, because we fix this by applying 2 tags in Follow-Up Boss. It's incredibly simple. We will apply 2 tags and suddenly you'll go from, hey, I've got 100,000 leads and only 7,000 are getting email content from me, to I've got 100,000 leads and 100,000 people are getting daily, weekly, monthly updates from me. They're returning to site. My agents are calling them. We're setting appointments. We're doing business with these people. Since we've launched AI Nurture, I can't tell you how many clients of ours have messaged us, hey, just converted a 7-year-old realtor.com lead. Just the other day, Robert posted, commented, if you want to scroll back my Facebook feed, that they're working with a 3-year-old lead that was dead in the database. All we did was activate these emails, these nurture campaigns to get them re-engaged. And this was a lead that is at least 3 times Robert's normal price point. He's usually around $250,000, Jacksonville, North Carolina military market. This lead is looking at least $750,000. So there is tons of gold in all of your databases that is completely untapped, and it's going to stay untapped unless you get a system in place that's going to drive people back to the website, that's going to spark activity, because that activity is what you're telling your agents to call upon. So again, if you're not engaging your entire database, your agents aren't going to work your cold leads. If you start engaging your entire database, your agents will start calling and converting the cold leads. It's really, really simple. And this is one of the big things that Ruuster is helping folks with. Second topic that I wanted to discuss with you guys today is why so many of you are struggling to get adoption. This is something that I've seen very, very frequently for teams who spent years on an all-in-one and have now moved to a CRM only. So think, hey, I spent a long time with Boomtown, or I spent a long time with Brivity or Sierra, and now I'm on Follow Up Boss because I want to maintain my Zillow Flex status, right? If that sounds familiar, you've now gone from my agents have to log into one thing to my agents have to log into Follow Up Boss, and for many of y'all, you've got Flex leads you're handling, you've got Market VIP leads you're handling, you've got a lead generation website that's bringing in leads. You've got an SEO friendly website. You've got a branded REW website. You've got all of these different systems that the agent has to individually log into to do things like create an e-alert or to update an e-alert, to manage a lot of that MLS centric content. And for most of the team leaders that I speak with, their agents are struggling to log into all of those things. They're not adopting them very well. And frequently, they're just jumping into Flex. They're jumping into the MLS portal and sending all of that content from there, which is really terrible, because if I click on an e-alert that's sent from the Matrix platform, that doesn't log into Follow Up Boss. So getting back to why aren't my agents calling these leads, if you're sending something direct from the MLS and it doesn't log into Follow Up Boss, there's no return to site event that's going to trigger the agent calling them. So how do you fix that? It's very simple. You turn your CRM, your Follow Up Boss, back into the all-in-one type of platform that your agents were used to. That is another thing that Ruuster does. So we bring all of those tools, the MLS tools that your agents were used to having on your all-in-one, we embed them into your Follow Up Boss, so that way your agents don't have to log into different systems. They don't have to click a third-party link and leave the CRM. It can be managed from inside of Follow Up Boss, simplifying the expectations of what they have. We want to get you guys to really simplify the agent's activity, their daily expectations. We want to have call lists that are full of active engaged leads, because we're working the entire database. We want them to sit down and make their 10 daily connects, their 20 daily connects, just by looking in those filters. And then we want them updating the lead profile in the CRM, updating the e-alerts, saved searches, market reports, that type of content inside of the CRM. So that way we're really idiot proofing what their expectations are. Hey, we're providing you leads. You're going to call them. You're going to work them from the CRM. We're going to do a lot of business together and grow together. That's the tech stack that we're helping folks get to, that does encourage actual agent adoption of the systems. Last thing that I wanted to mention to you guys, because this is a big one. So many of you guys have JVs, or you've just got partnerships in your community, but you're doing a bad job of really getting your database plugged into the different partnerships you have, or potentially the JVs, and it's really a handoff issue. So that's one thing that we've built at Ruuster, is a way to take people from your tools, your client portal, what we launched for you, and get them introduced and plugged into the services that you either own or the services that you recommend. So I could be off base, but if you've made it to minute 9 of this live and you have a traditional model of, here's a move-in packet, in 2 years, if you need your HVAC service, you need your windows cleaned, anything like that, I've got the person that I recommend in here available for you. Here's a secret. Your client is going to lose that move-in packet really fast. So, when you're wondering why potentially, maybe you just are annoyed with getting phone calls asking, hey, who's the carpet cleaner that you recommend, or who's the landscaper you recommend, when you've already given them your recommendations through that move-in packet. What we did was build in the client portal that we have basically your own Angie's List. So you can have the vendors that you recommend, the mortgage company that you've got a JV with, the local services, home maintenance type services that you recommend, all in one living, breathing place. And the beautiful thing about this is it's trackable. If you give somebody a sheet of paper and then they call the maid service that you recommend, you have no idea that you just helped that maid service get some business. When you're executing through our platform, you're actually looped in. When they connect with the vendors that you recommend, you are going to effectively get a lead alert that says, hey, client A just reached out to vendor B. That way you're informed. And that's beneficial for two reasons. One, it's just better insight into what's going on with that past client. I had somebody up in Louisville, Kentucky. They had really bad storms blow through, and this person noticed that one of their leads inquired with tree removal and roofer. Right. So what happened? The storms blew through. Tree fell on the client's house. The agent knew, hey, I should check on this person because of the insights that they were getting using our platform. When they went and did a pop by, they were actually able to get a couple referrals because their client couldn't believe that their realtor that they hadn't, they did business 3 years ago with, couldn't believe that the realtor thought to come check on them. Right. So that's a huge lift for your business. But also the insight of, hey, this service just got a lead from me. That's something you can monetize, right? And you can do that either by having a, trusted partner system where you charge some monthly amount of money for local services to participate in your ecosystem, to have access to your client base that you've spent, hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars of marketing to obtain over the years that you've been in real estate, or you can charge per lead. And as long as you're not doing mortgage, title, some of those transaction-specific vendors, RESPA does not care if you charge a pool installation company a fee, a per lead fee, when your clients are getting introduced to them. So 3 big things that I wanted to make sure the world knows Ruuster can help with. Number 1, converting your old, cold, dead leads, getting them engaged, getting them activated, and getting you guys to make money on leads in your database that don't come with a 40% referral fee, that don't require an increased marketing spend, that don't require an increased retargeting budget. There's free opportunities sitting untapped in your database. Ruuster helps with that. Second, simplifying your tech stack so that your agents actually use the tools that you provide to them. And lastly, a channel to actually monetize all of the different local services recommendations that you're already making that you currently don't have a way to make some money off of. So if any of those 3 things sound like something that you'd like to have a conversation about, that you'd like to take a look at, drop a comment, shoot me a DM. Would love to get on the calendar with you. What I will do is I will drop our free CRM audit guide in the comments below. This is going to walk you through how to identify, like, how many cold leads do I have? What's the real opportunity here? Some of you, it might make you cringe a bit when you realize you've got 70,000 leads that you're not even marketing to right now. But the good news is we can help. So if you need any help getting access to that CRM audit, again, that's going to be in the comments. If you need help walking through that together, we can jump on a Zoom together and I can show you where to click depending upon the system that you are on. Thanks, guys.